Hello, I'm Rich Phippen and I'm the director of Bunch of Amateurs.
Hello, Mike Lockhart. I am assistant manager to Peter Barclay.
Yeah, and I'm Bark's former Holland Sports manager.
So we're recording this after the departure from Holland Sports, and we're looking back on some of our favourite games, and I think Westfield is probably one of the most fun because it was a big trip down to the coast for me and Claire. We got to stay the night in Hastings, and so many goals. I mean, it was a fun day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Mike thought it was in Hampshire or somewhere, didn't you, Mike?
I think I said Kent at half time. It's a lovely bit of, I mean, the Kent countryside is fantastic. No, that was a rather large mistake. But it was a long journey down.
So me and Claire went down the night before, and I went out early in the morning, as my Patreon viewers will know because they've seen me moaning about how cold I was. And I went out along the promenade and started shooting stuff, and shooting with the drone. So we got loads in the bag before we'd even got to the ground, which took the pressure off a little bit. And then we got there early, and I must admit I'd forgotten who we were up against, and I'd kind of forgotten who the manager was, and I forgot that I was in touch with his son, who's the chairman, because we're both Charlton supporters. I'd forgotten all of that, and it wasn't until I got there and saw him on his lawnmower, and I was like, oh my God, the penny's dropped. This is a team that we came up against before, and that was a fun day as well, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think when I got out of the car, Rich, you mentioned to me that there had been this text message that this Twitter post about the game, us having a week off after we played them, which I think was a complete mistake. I think we were talking about training rather than the game. So I think I'm here just about to tell Barks about that Twitter post and saying, don't lose your head over it.
Yeah, there's a lovely...
But they were definitely... They're a nice group of guys, Westfield. They held on to that post, didn't they? And that was what they were going to use to drive the game and get their lads fired up for it.
Which is funny because there was no ill intent whatsoever in any... You've never ever said to me, let's give someone some stick on Twitter. It's never happened.
No, and I'd like to think everything... I do turn the needle in the changing room and obviously use anything I can for fuel, but nothing publicly because I'm always conscious that it can fuel the opposition. But there's a lovely bit just here where Mike knows me so well and he's just basically saying, don't go into meltdown mode, but this lot hate you. And there was a tweet about 3 years ago and Mike's just saying, Mike knows probably not to tell me these things as well sometimes before the game, but he's just letting me know here that there's a tweet from about 3 years ago that's upset them. So just adds a bit more fuel to the fire. But looking around there, that early shot of those dugouts, it's a proper non-league ground, isn't it? It's a proper grassroots, home and away, painted on those green dugouts, as tin sheds.
So as I discovered, this is the controversial shot coming up, isn't it? None of us noticed. Yeah, there it is. There it's gone.
Well, he's so late, isn't he, Dill?
He's so kind late. Of his own fault.
He's so late to every game. There's a couple of funny moments here with Dill. I gave him a 3-minute timer. I said, right, you've got 3 minutes to get changed. And he gives me this funny look here of like confusion. And then his phone goes off in a minute as well. Good guy, Dill, good character. I'm glad we brought him in. I discovered afterwards when I was doing the edit that their clubhouse had burnt down a few years ago. So I wanted to include some of that footage. Oh, right.
I couldn't find any photos of it anywhere. And there was a newspaper report that was no longer on the website. So that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, they put in these places. And just across the road, they've built a new stadium. And it was like half constructed. And I shot it with the drone, except the drone file corrupted. So I didn't get to use it in the edit, which is a shame. But it looks like Westfield are going in the right direction. It looks like they've got a nice setup coming. There's a lot of clubs are doing. You put 4G in and it can pay for itself because you hire the pitch out.
This is a key bit here for me. Aaron made a comment. I know Aaron really well and I love him. He's a great bloke. But he made a sarcastic comment to Charlie Mack there, and there were the little comments that I was just trying to eradicate. The comments that have a little bit of needle, a little bit of truth behind them. Sometimes are quite hurting to people. So I had to dig Murphs out a little bit here. Bless him. I spoke to him after, but that little bit of we were trying to change, weren't we, Mike? Those little kind of sarcastic comments at times that actually carry a little bit of truth and hurt people.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think it was just one of those little ways of trying to change a bit of the culture in it, and to keep people fired up for the beginning of the games, because lads get hurt, don't they, by comments, and it can affect their performance.
That's his phone going off. But yeah, the 4G pitches, I think they're on a journey, aren't they, Westfield, to expand somewhere else, and they're temporarily playing on this, which was a really boggy, big pitch, and really windy, wasn't it, as well? Tough conditions for the lads.
Yeah, I think at half time, I think one of the boys said when we come up for the second half that it was one of the toughest first halves of football they'd played because of the conditions, and sort of, we were just having a conversation about it probably didn't look it from the sideline, but it was a really, really tough first half for the lads.
There's Nathan, who gets injured this game, doesn't he? A controversial moment where I think it's a red card, and no one else on Twitter or in the world thinks it is. But
and I think on TikTok there was mixed opinions. A lot of people are saying he was out of control, whether he made contact or not, so it's a red. And I just think the proof's in the pudding. The guy, he put him out for weeks, and he had 2 feet off the floor. I think it was a red. I'm not sure it looked it at the time because I can't remember my reaction, but
I just felt it was reckless. We'll see it, I'm sure, soon. But he's shepherding a ball out, isn't he? And
the ball's gone.
The ball's gone, yeah. And you're trying to either scoop round him or, I'm not sure, but got the poppy on. Always a big thing for us, isn't it, Mike?
Absolutely,
Remembrance.
yeah, remembrance. This was just after. Was it the week after the England game or the week before the England game?
I can't remember. When this. I can't remember what the game.
No,
what was the game before this?
I don't think I filmed the game before this.
Okay.
No, I think it was this one, and then we did England midweek, and then went to Linfield on the Saturday. Yeah, that'll be it. Because Remembrance was midweek, wasn't it? Friday.
So I was having a nightmare trying to juggle some work with ProDirect and Dorking Uncovered and this, and trying to make sure I picked the right games, which I think we did in the end. I almost didn't make what became the last episode because that was when I was shooting in London in the morning, and we managed to get back just in time. Me and Greg were like, "Do you reckon we'll make it? Yeah, let's just go down and give it a try." Just as well, because otherwise this would have been the last ever episode.
We were on a roll here, weren't we? I know we lost in that cup game to that good AFC side, but we'd won a few on the bounce in the league, and we were on a roll. And sometimes you go to these places and think, got to keep the standards high. They're up for it. They're even more up for it because of this Twitter post. And these were the games where if you want to challenge for top 3, top 2, you've got to go and pick up the points, haven't you? And,
and I know it's cliche, but there are no easy games, are there? Every team that you turn up against are well organised. Levels of fitness can vary. You've got teams training twice a week, but definitely this was a young side. I think the goalkeeper, I think 2 of our lads do some coaching part-time at school or something. I think that lad goes there, the goalkeeper, so they knew him. So they were a young side and going to be a fit side as well. And it doesn't show it on camera, but the conditions were pretty difficult. I think the warm-up there over in the corner was just trying to find a piece of grass that was good enough for us to have to knock the ball about.
Just talking to Charlie there about that comment, I think it hurt him actually, so I was just letting him know that trying to eradicate that and stick up for him a little bit. And he was on the bench because I think he hadn't trained for a couple of weeks and missed a game, but he did really well when he came on this game. I appreciated his leadership, I think, when we put him back on, Mike.
So this is the point when Claire was shooting. There's no Greg today, so it's just me and Claire and Leo, the intern.
Leo the lion.
And I remember hearing on the camera back, I'm looking for footage of the training, and I can hear Claire laughing and joking with I think it's their goalkeeper's mum, who's very excited. And she's saying, "I don't actually know what Rich wants me to do." And I'm thinking, point the fucking camera at Bart.
This is a bit strange. The bell went, didn't it, quite early here? You were talking.
Yeah.
Just kind of setting our stall out, really, our expectations for the game.
It's a bit odd. I mean, we always get this because we're quite big on timings, aren't we? And the referees or whoever's administrating always tells you the times that they're going to do things, and then they always seem to run late or run very early. So you think you've got 3 or 4 minutes, and then it doesn't happen, or they want you out for kick-off and then leave you hanging around for 5 minutes.
I mean, you know better than anyone, Mike. It kills me when you plan everything ready for kick-off, and then your team stood around and you're kicking off 5 minutes late, and the teams are ready and the ref's not ready. It doesn't happen often, but it's a frustrating thing for me. The game kicks off when you tell me it kicks off because we plan backwards right from that time. So Mike was good this game, had a bit of, like he does, there's a bit of needle, doesn't he, with some of his teammates early doors, but turned it on. I can remember them shouting, stick it on whatever number he was for, stick it on the 18 first half, and by the end they were saying, hell of a play, you're 18. I was like, you're the one you were saying, should have the ball because he keeps giving it back to you. Great kit though, that one. And the orange looks good.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Love that
lovely
one.
kit.
Had this ref a few times, good ref normally, quite approachable.
Yeah, I don't remember him at all, which I guess is probably a
We've
good
had him
sign.
a few times. I think we've had him in a cup final. He's a good guy. I think he's something to do with Sidley Vets, or plays for Sidley Vets as well. Well done, Con. Great early challenge there.
I think Connor had a bit of a migraine or something, didn't he?
He's like a cartoon. He sees stars now and again, doesn't he? Bless
yeah,
him.
he got hit he got a ball on the nose, he told me, and that's why he's struggling to see.
Stand up,
I
Con.
just couldn't find the footage of it. I looked for ages.
Well done, Dill. This is why I just want to play a bit quicker now. So it slows down.
That's classic Mark.
See, Mike shouldn't be taking that throw, really. Should be the fullback. Good ball though. Nathan was good for us when he came in, wasn't he? Good qualities. Nathan Ashburn.
Yeah, good guy, Nathan.
Harry Dalt's got his ice skates on.
Unorthodox but successful. They were asking for a red there.
For who? On Harry? Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it? They were just... They were another level, these two, next to us.
I realised afterwards... Well, actually, he did tell me before they were going to be like that. That's what they look forward to. They work all week and they want to have a tear up on the bench, as it were. And they're perfectly nice before and after the game, but during the game, they love it. They love an argument, I think.
It's a real shame because at points in the first half, they were the better team.
Well done, Sam. Well battled.
They just wanted to try and rattle us, and I think they did rattle us as well for the majority of the first half.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But they just didn't seem to adapt after.
Strike Stevie. I mean, Steve was class for us from day one, wasn't he, Mike? Quality player, Steve.
Steve, what a player.
When the refs are coming off, like you said to me.
I don't think people recognise his ability.
It's funny on YouTube, a lot of people have seen, they've gone, he's talented, the 8. I mean, he could play 2-3 leagues higher, couldn't he, Steve?
Yes, absolutely.
On another day, Murph sticks those away. Got the ability there, hasn't he, Michael?
Absolutely. Murph's his quality. You can see his quality on the ball as soon as you meet him.
Harry's recovery here I was behind the goal here and I couldn't believe how quickly he got there.
Harry's a winner. He's a die-hard. He's a die-hard
cameo. Life
on the line John Terry winner, Harry. And we missed him when he got that straight red, didn't we? We missed him for a bit.
Yeah.
Very good player, Harry Dalton.
That was that bit we were talking about with Joe about just getting the ball and setting it. He's done well there.
I thought Joe had a really good game this game, actually. When you look at his bits, he set the ball, he was fighting for us. I thought he showed real signs in this game of what he can do. Missed him, Harry. And then
Harry was given the free kick there.
I know,
it's just crazy.
Well done, ref. Oh.
Pitching wedge out there.
Oh, it's a warning, that one.
That's them, isn't it? They really had to go at Mike. Deal.
Well, it's funny because their keeper was 16 or something, wasn't he? And hadn't played at this level before. So it's kind of funny that they're
me and Mike we're not
keeper.
shouting out stick it on their keeper, are we, Fip? We're not saying stick it on the young lad. Joe, unlucky Joe.
Yeah.
Good save there for the young keeper.
Good save, brave. See, Murph got that. Murph should be in the target there, I think.
Yeah, quite frustrated with himself.
Yeah,
him after that, he knew that one should have gone in.
He's got the ability. Does he hit the crossbar or post in this game again?
I can't remember. He definitely scores though, doesn't he? He scores the equaliser. Here we go.
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of good goals in this game, isn't there?
That's a hell of a strike.
Yeah, that was a hell of a strike. That one.
You see that and you're thinking that's definitely the goal of the game.
Gave Dan Draper a bit of time this game, didn't we? Nice to have him in the squad, the young lad there on the bench. Dan was good character. Blame deal there? Not really.
No.
Good strike, isn't it?
No, I think at this level, if someone hits a ball like that, this guy sticking it on the keeper again.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
like, use the ball.
I remember Deal tweeted after the game saying it was nice to repay his comments by winning the game eventually, because I think he told him how bad he was at that point.
You know, the boys didn't often say to me, we want you to do this or that with the edit, but they did all say to me, can you pick on the number 9 a bit?
Did they?
Yeah, because he was winding them all up.
Stevie, keep it.
We just needed to get foot back in the game and
keep the ball for a bit.
Keep the ball and not get involved in the silliness, really, the shouting and screaming from the sideline.
I don't think we did, though. I didn't really say a word to him, Mike, to be honest.
No, I don't think we did. It was one of those moments. I always felt it was one of these games where we needed to get into half time at 1 down and reset ourselves and, you know, and speak to the lads. But credit to the lads.
Connor.
People like Murphs, people like Mike Smith, people like Steve, you know, have dragged us through there to get us through to half time in a good position.
That's a great ball. A bit high. So he spotted him out there, Nath.
Westfield refused to be pegged back. Patrick yet again gets in a strong position, only to see his effort flash across the.
Yeah, just stay in the game. You mean, Mike, till half time?
Yeah, it felt like it was a stay in the game. You know, I think here I was trying to ignore their management team, trying to drag us into conversations. I think they tried to drag you in, Rich, as well, and drag Barks in. And it was just a case of let's just get through to half time where we can regroup as a team, and we were far better.
I mean, he's actually calling me a meme and Ricky Gervais and all the stuff that people say online about me. So he'd obviously seen a few episodes. And
shout out to him. He's a fan, obviously.
I'm trying. I got away with this because I fell over and I'm struggling to get back up.
That's your
no one
missus,
really
mate.
noticed. No one said anything. That's almost worse, actually. You almost want people to laugh about it.
I like that hoodie, though. Is there somewhere you can buy those?
Not yet, but if there's enough interest, then it could be done.
That's just missed it. Came up where he calls me the minge. You utter minge, he calls me. It's a word I've not heard since I was at secondary school. I think he was about 60, the bloke that called me that. What happened? Did Connor... Is this where Connor got a bit dizzy? We put Charlie McCarthy on.
So Connor's just
Good
come
win,
off.
Harry.
Here we go. This is the hook into the air, isn't it? And this is Murphs with a trademark header.
Oh, Murphs. The Murph dog.
On it.
Sniffer.
He has to be careful.
And then
he gets into trouble with...
The guy don't give him the ball.
Because in these situations, the player trying to get the ball back doesn't want to back down. The player with the ball is
always
never going to hand
trouble,
it
doesn't
over.
it?
So it can only be a problem.
I don't know what the ruling is there, but it's only going to be an issue.
Yeah.
And he was... the left back was definitely... You know, on the wind up with the others. I think his name was Dopey or something. They called him. And I'm not winding him. I'm not winding you up. That's what they. That's what they called him. This is it. Let's have a look there, Mike. Tell me what you think. Shielding the ball. I mean, what is it? I think that's a red card still.
I thought it was
both feet are off the ground.
I thought it was innocuous at the time. At the time, sitting there. I mean, he's just shepherding a ball out. It's only when he goes down and he's really hurt.
But I think when you play the game, Mike, if you're shielding, that guy's trying to come round you, right? He can't be coming through between your legs or anything.
No, absolutely.
I'm trying to you're talking to their gaffer here. I'm trying to get the sub on, Mike. And you put I think you put him on, and we score straight away.
Yeah.
Joe Cav, bags of ability.
Super sub.
Loves a step over. Oh, great feet. Look at him, mate.
Great acceleration there.
I think Joe gets here and rolls it into Sam, who finishes first time. Great finish, well controlled. Yeah. They don't come back, those ones, do they, Michael? No.
Don't stop them.
And that's what I say, to go in, that was a big marker, because I think we're going in there losing at half time. So to go in 2-1 up is good and makes that half time team talk, a bit easier for us.
Definitely. Because big performances here.
They've already shown the character, haven't they?
Get off, I like that, James. Get off, I'll get myself up. He was class. He was nearly MOM, wasn't he, James Barker, this game?
Yeah.
Showed his
he had a run,
strength.
didn't he, of good games.
You're a meme, here we go. The best bit was when he started having a go and I said, why you keep swearing? He goes, I haven't been swearing. I said, you have all game. He goes, F off.
Yeah.
Didn't he? And he didn't even mean to do it as a... Bless him. But he was a nice...
Jack's all right. And he, I texted him a bit after
right.
He was helping me name players and stuff. And like I say, he's a fellow Charlton supporter, so we know each other from that.
I don't mind it. We're out there to be shot at, aren't we? I get it.
Yeah.
I'd be doing exactly the same. I don't mind it. You know, it's part of our learning curve to not get involved in it. It's just, you know, it can be tough sometimes, especially when they make it personal. But you know, we're there to be shot at, like I said. But you're right, Mike. 2-1 now. Come back from 1-0 down. You start going, and he actually went to the hospital. Nath. He had an X-ray. Thought he'd fractured his tibia.
Fine.
He ruptured his calf. He's still out now. He's been out for 8 weeks because of that. So it did look innocuous, but something to hurt him caught him.
This is me giving everyone a geography lesson.
I'm confused when you say it. I can tell, know when you say it because I look at you thinking we're not in Kent or whatever you said.
Must be powerful. None of us are talking over it. Yeah, it's just about resetting everyone here and making sure they all stuck together because, you know, quite easily people.
There, that's when you said it.
Yeah, I think I was
people can end up digging each other out and stuff like that. But credit to the lads, they've kept together.
On a technical level, I think the GoPro in the changing room wasn't recording, which is why I haven't got any wide shots here, and it's an absolute nightmare in the edit when that happens. Because I've got fortunate here that I've got the camera locked off on you while I'm doing reaction shots, so it's not quite so bad. But it's happened in the most recent Dorking episode I'm editing. I've only got one camera because the GoPro messed up. They actually knocked it off and put it on ×8 setting, so it's just everyone running around really fast. So I can't use it. It is really painful when that happens, but there's always a way around it. You just shorten things a bit. Surprisingly easy place to film in, actually, the shape of this, because it was long and narrow. Put the GoPro above my head, sit in a corner with the other two cameras, not getting anyone's way.
I quite like the setup down at Westfield. I know it was a bit old and ramshackled and they were moving, but it was quite nicely, all tightly packed in, wasn't it? It wasn't a ground in the middle of a field somewhere. It was, you know, and they had a few people there watching as well. And
yeah,
you know, as much as that Jack tried to wind us up during the game, he was a pleasant lad after the game, and I stood around and had a chat with him.
Yeah,
their sort of ambitions and stuff, they were right. And I think their manager, the other guy, the chairman or the manager, was he not the manager of Hastings when they went to the FA Cup third round against?
Yeah, he's managed in the FA Cup. Yeah, that's right.
What a goal!
God, that was a good goal, wasn't it, Thierry Henry?
So a lot of people on TikTok and that were saying that the keeper should have done more. I think that the angle's a bit deceiving, a bit deceptive, because he's off his line where he should be. His positioning's fine, but the way that's looped, I don't think he's ever getting there. And it was quite unpredictable. No keeper's going to see that coming.
No. It was a great goal, and Sam did a kind of phone call celebration because he miscalled me the night before, and he had a superstition of miscalling me then after on a Friday before a Saturday game because he felt it made it, you know, gave him a better chance of scoring.
Are funny.
Yeah. No, you're right though, Mike. It's a good setup, and you see the struggles that we all go through as non-league teams, right? And what the people mowing the pitch, marking the lines, running the bar. It's the same wherever you go, and you got to respect all those volunteers and people that go into making the club run and tick over. Well done, Joe Cav.
I didn't think it was a penalty at the time, but no one argued. They're all like, no, everyone went with it. I was like, okay, must have been a pen then.
Now I'm sitting here because I think I just put Sam back on pens.
It is a pen, isn't it?
Because he missed one, didn't he, the opening game, and we had George. So now I'm like, please tuck it away, Sam, which he does.
Just a little slip at the end, which he gets away with.
Yeah. Face planted after, but we don't care as long as it goes in. This is a hell of a ball from Connor, and it's a great finish from Sam. I mean, that's a class goal all round.
It's a funny one because Claire has no confidence that she's ever filmed anything correctly. So when I said to her, I didn't see all the goals, so I'm like, did you get them? I heard they're all good goals because I was busy doing other things. She's like, no, I don't think I got them. And I'm so relieved when I get back and see that we got them on two cameras.
Just that ball, I mean, what a ball from Con, and the first time finish. You know, we were really running right now, weren't we? The confidence through the roof, Mike, and everyone buzzing, everyone fighting for each other, you know, doing the right things.
Their bench hit the mute button, didn't it? I think at this point as well. I don't even think they were on the bench, which was quite nice.
And I guess the roll on, you know, roll-ons, whatever they're called, subs now, gave us a chance now and again to talk to Joe, take him off, put him back on.
Yeah.
You know,
Like I said to you, it's a different dynamic with subs. You have to change your approach to how substitutes work when you can do that. It's a different world, really. I mean, if they could do that at Premier League level, you know that Pep would have a first 15-minute team, then he would just change to a second 15-minute team or whatever.
The England rugby manager would calls his substitutions his finishers,
right?
And give them all the same sort of priority as the starting 15, and talk about how important they are. But Joe certainly seemed to benefit sometimes, didn't he, from that coming off, having a chat, seeing it from the outside, and then going in. And his pace is devastating. I think everyone can see that. He gets into those positions, doesn't he? Very, very often.
I'm saying to Steve in a minute, Steve, the game, there's 10 minutes left. Go in there and get the music going. I've given him 10 minutes. Well battled, Joe. See, that is class.
Yeah,
Battled, strong, really great strike. Yeah, I've said to Steve, get in and get the music going. And it still weren't going, was it, Mike? We got in there. Didn't do very well with the music. Young Dan Draper, good lad, 19.
Because what you missed out on was the following week. Because obviously they chose the song. They chose the Bob Marley song, didn't they? The lads, they wanted it to be their winning song. So because we couldn't get the music on, the following week I disconnected my soundbar from my television at home and brought it to the game and did the music myself on the last one.
Mike turned up with his giant soundbar. His kids couldn't watch TV or anything, but he made sure that we had music.
It was like a 5-foot soundbar, wasn't it? From a surround sound speaker.
I forgot it rained. It rained for about 5 minutes, didn't it? But it absolutely pelted down.
Yeah. Weather took a turn for the worse, but everyone buzzing now from going 1-0 down to, really turning the screw now. Is it 6-1? Save keeps.
That's a good save, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's going the other way at first.
Good result, really, away from home. Wasn't it, Mike? 6-1.
Really, really good result, because the way they'd set up to frustrate us, it could have been a really frustrating afternoon. You imagine if that was 1-1 going into the last 5 minutes. I think our discipline record wasn't great. People getting sent off and whatever. I think there was a chance someone was going to lose their head. I think that 10 minutes before half time really set the tone. And meant that we didn't have to get embroiled in all that sort of stuff going on. Here's you.
Well, this is just when I was a player, I'm just buzzing now, and I'm just banging the walls, getting the music going, and that's just what I wanted. I want the dressing room buzzing after a victory like that, because I'm delighted with them and everything they've gone through to get that result. Don't know, just didn't have any Bluetooth or something to get it going, so it's just me making a prat of myself.
Yeah, I did make the point to Steve that you should have that song on your phone. He didn't have the reception to connect to Spotify, so he couldn't play it. So I'm like, got to download that thing. So you just got to keep talking to cover that gap.
But it's just, I'm just saying there, this is what I love about football. I can remember going to Hollington with Charwood. When you go somewhere, you go 1-0 down, they're calling you every name under the sun, and you win. This is what you do it for, right? This is why you train, this is why you do the 5Ks, this is why you work hard to go in and get these results. Then I want, no offence to Westfield, but like any manager, I want them to hear the music, hear the celebrating, and to feel that pain really a little bit, don't you, Mike? I mean, that's why I played.
Absolutely, I think they're the games that fuel you. When teams turn up and they're really nice and you get a 3-0 win, it's just run of the mill. It's nice, and it sometimes with a bit of needle. It does fuel you up for the game and makes that long drive home as well all the better, doesn't it? Chatting all the way home about everything that's happened.
A great result. Was that seventh win on the bounce there?
Yeah, and
in the league,
they'll take points off teams. This Westfield by doing what they do, getting in people's faces and being aggressive, and they're still a fit young side who can still play as well. And you see the ability of the lad who's scored top bins. They've got the ability there. That's what I say. Every team, there's no givens, I don't think, in this league. Every team's a good side. And that's why you've got to be prepared yourself. You've got to look after yourself. You've got to look after your teammates and give yourselves the best chance of winning every week. And the lads did a really good job on this occasion.
Yeah, they were class here, all round. Nice to get Luke on as well. Last year's captain, obviously came on, did well. someone that you want to use on these heavy pitches, right? He's quite strong in there, wins the ball back. As we said, James Barker was class. I don't know who we gave MOM to, I can't remember, but some good performances out there. Did I give it to Sam for scoring 4?
Because he scored so many goals.
I don't normally give it to a striker though. Mike always has a go at me for that.
That's the Kevin Locke superstition. Yeah, Lockie could score a hat-trick. He'd never ever get.
I just think they've had their glory.
MOM.
They've had their glory with the goals, haven't they? But I suppose scoring 4, he deserved it.
Yeah, I remember you guys needed to get away, so I was trying to get your interview done. So we had to go on the pitch to get away from everyone. Jack here was.
He's a nice guy. You see, when the dust settles, you go, actually, you're a nice guy.
Yeah, he's good. And then I was like, can you get me one more, Mike? Do you remember? I'm like, go and find me one more person to interview. Only person you could find, I think, was Luke, who would say yes, and he made it quite clear he does not like the cameras. So, but we got an interview out of him. It was quite an interesting one. And Jack's was good as well. Like he makes no bones about it. They're in it for the fun of it and in it for the bants, as people say.
I mean, at this point, I know you showed the league table at the start. I can't remember, but we were pushing for top 3, top 2 was our aim, wasn't it? Really.
Well, we had some games in hand, didn't we? And we knew we could basically get within touching distance and still having to play the teams at the top. And I think at this point, with the players we had available, players coming back, we were really confident that a good run in at Christmas would send us over the edge. We had some winnable games coming up. And I think by after Christmas, I think we've really thought we could be up in the top 2.
Yeah.
Wasn't to be. Right, we shall leave it there. Thank you so much for listening to us prattle on about the episode Once Upon a Time in the Westfield. We'll be back again soon with more directors' commentaries and more episodes of Bunch of Amateurs.
Yeah, cheers guys.
Cheers guys.
You can get... I should have warmed my voice up. You can get more Bunch of Amateurs directors' commentaries over on patreon.com/Bunch of Amateurs, where you'll also get some more behind-the-scenes stuff. I might put some outtakes on there, like this terrible attempt to do a voiceover.